What's up, Wolfpack? Thank you guys for stopping by my channel. It's the Wolf of Real Estate, Juan Rubio. I'm a top 1% luxury realtor in Vegas, and I just want to give you guys a lot of really good information and tips, tricks how to make money in real estate. I'm a first generation immigrant, came here with nothing, and I'm building this empire day by day. I've had a lot of patience. I've been in the business 8 years, and again, I'm a top 1% agent and under 30 years old. So hopefully you guys get some really good information by following the channel. So today we're going to a photo shoot right now with Deluxe Magazine. With Timothy Hancock. He is an amazing friend of mine that was introduced to me by another real estate agent who saw I was doing a lot of business, and they were actually giving away awards for the top 20 realtors in Las Vegas, and he nominated me to be one of those top 20 agents. I believe it was 2 years ago, and since then I've always been top 20 pretty much from Deluxe Magazine every year since. So right now we're going to that photo shoot, and the main thing I want you guys to get away from this video today is how important branding is. I've been in the business 8 years, but out of those 8 years, I've only been really branding myself really tough about, I want to say 2 to 3 years, and it's exploded my business in ways I can't even imagine. I can't even explain to you guys like how important it is that you guys stand out from the crowd and become not just a person, but a brand. And so the reasoning why I keep coming back to Timothy and Deluxe Version is because in Vegas they're one of the prominent luxury brands. They're always marketing and advertising very high-end retailers, or the top doctors, the top lawyers, the best watches, whether it's Hublot or Rolex or whatever the situation is. But these are brands that I want to be associated with. So when people think of a watch like Hublot or Rolex, or they think of the top doctors or the top lawyers, that name Juan Rubio, the Wolf of Real Estate, is also associated in that. And so that's a way that you can stick onto other brands that are already luxurious, and it'll help your brand out a lot. So yeah, guys, we just got here. We're gonna go do this photo shoot, and Sean here is gonna take some B-roll so you guys can see the whole kind of production we have going on. And what's great is it's actually to market my YouTube channel. So we're gonna have the studio in the background with my YouTube channel pulled up. So yeah, guys, we'll see you in a bit. Tim, so literally, I know I probably told you this before, but I just want to reiterate, man, like seriously, since I started branding myself with Deluxe, the amount of business that I started getting just increased exponentially. And it's literally been crazy, the response that I've got, because for one, I'm not gonna lie, when I was in it, I didn't really think the response was gonna be that good. I thought, oh, this will be good for my branding, just another little thing to add to my, advertising and marketing that I'm doing. But what really ended up happening is people started recognizing me places, they started recognizing my work, they started appreciating the things that I do, and it really just happened almost like overnight with, Deluxe Version. And so it really brought to my attention how important branding is when you're not only a realtor, but in any business that you have, how important branding is. It really just stands out from the crowd. So my first question is, what got you into branding, and how important would you say it is into business?
It's so important, and you nailed it. Honestly, when you take a partner in any sort of media outlet and you say, hey, I'm gonna show up, I'm gonna be there for the photo shoot, I'm gonna be there for the video shoot, I'm gonna do the ads, I'm gonna do the awards, I'm gonna do the covers, you're giving yourself a world of opportunity, not with just your network, but with my network. And then our distribution on top of that allows more people to actually see who you are, where you're going, what you're doing. But the most important thing is consistency. You've been with me for almost a whole year now, since You started with your ads, but prior to that, you were doing awards, you were coming to our events. You built a community within our community. And so you've got a little heartbeat behind your presence, and that just brings everything to life.
Yeah. I want to say one of the most important things with doing something like this for branding is that people normally, I think the only people that shy away from, doing like magazine covers and things like that is basically that they don't see the results right away. So it's not like pay-per-click ads, or it's not like, where you put in money and immediately within a day or two you start getting these leads. It's something that happens over time. And so I think people get scared to want to do ads like that because they're like, oh, well, I'm not, instant gratification getting that right away. And but to me, I've actually had much more overwhelming experience, with these ads and things like that than I have even just doing anything else that I do. Because with the magazine and on my way here, I was telling Sean that I'm like, dude, it's crazy because not only do people see your ad and right there and there, but who's next to you, who's on the other pages. So you're getting Hublot, you're getting some, I think Rolex you said wanted to do, a thing, and I know you have the top lawyers, the top doctors. So it's like you're getting these top industry leaders in this one magazine, and you're, as a top realtor right next to the top lawyers, the top artists in town, the top restaurants, the top everything. So now people automatically associate you with the top lawyers, the top doctors, the top restaurants, the top brands, and you bring that together, and that's what the Wolf of Real Estate then becomes about for me, because it's like I was in a point where I would sell a couple luxury properties here and there, but I wanted to break that barrier and go to the top and go to the next level. And it's like, if you look at my sales before and after I started with the Deluxe version, I literally sell $1 million properties left and right. And it was almost like an explosion of just people resonating me with luxury, with this branding and the branding that I'm personally doing, my consistency, my hard work. But you put that together and it's almost like gasoline on a fire, and then, it just takes off. So what got you into, doing the magazine?
I could have said it, and you've lived it. You've lived it, and I've lived it in spaces as well, as I've been seen in Forbes and Yahoo Finance. But branding is so important to do consistently. It's a legacy marketing strategy. It's not an instant gratification marketing strategy. You're building a legacy. You're sharing your story. People find these over the long periods of time. You in the situation that you are in real estate or flips and investment properties, you're able to start in the neighborhood, feature that property, and then go give that magazine and that feature to the whole neighborhood. Now the whole neighborhood is like, this guy's publishing properties on our street. We're gonna go with him. Right. And it's a game changer.
So what got you into branding originally? Like, what came with this idea of I'm gonna do this luxurious, top magazine and, just blow it out of the water?
I've always been a fan of nice things and sharing stories and fashion and travel, but I've always wanted to be able to be somebody who can connect the dots and share experiences with people, help people understand that you can live these experiences too. That's what Deluxe version is all about. It's about discovering the best version of you and making luxury attainable. For marketing and branding, I've always wanted to be somebody who can just honor people, lift them up. And that's how I started actually with events. I would find 10 people, get them in a room, celebrate them, lift them up, encourage them, give them an award, and then the next month we would pay it forward. I built a whole culture in Las Vegas over that, and now we've got a great magazine that's thriving based on a healthy culture and branding really quality individuals.
I think a lot of people don't understand that it's also like a lifestyle, We have the events, we have the networking, which is huge. Like, just to be able to connect with top industry leaders all over the city. And some people fly out of town just to come to the event sometimes, which is amazing. And I know you're out of town all the time too.
We're doing this all over the country.
All over the country. So yeah, it's really great to, be able to be a part of this magazine, and I look forward to many, many years.
It's an honor to have you. Thank you for your loyalty, your consistency, and I know the sky's the limit. Top in Vegas, but also top in the rest of the country as you take over.
Thank you.
You are the wolf,
I appreciate
and we're here for it.
I appreciate it, man. Guys, if there's anything you got to take away from this, is if you're not already starting your branding, definitely start doing it. If you're not in Las Vegas, I'm sure there's, you know, avenues that you can start looking into for your particular city. And if you are in Vegas and if you're in California, we're already expanding. So look out for Tim. He's going to be expanding, hopefully all over the country. So yeah, guys, definitely start your branding, man. It's going to take you to the next level if you haven't already. Alright guys, so we just finished up with Timothy with Deluxe Magazine, and man, what a great time. It's so great connecting with him, and like I was telling you guys, it's so great to be able to have strategic partnerships like that, where, you know, helping each other out and meeting each other's networks and things like that. It's always very helpful to have those type of strategic partnerships. So I kind of want to gear this video now into a little bit of a separate direction, and not only talk about the importance of branding, which we did a little interview there with Tim, so you guys will have snippets of that and how important it is. But more importantly than not is getting into the luxury market. This is probably the #1 question that I get asked by other extremely successful realtors, new realtors, just people in general that want to know, like, how is it that you're doing, you know, all these $1 million properties at such a young age? And, you know, nothing was given to me. Every deal that I've done, you know, has came from, you know, me personally going out there hustling and you know, just grinding, getting my work done. But I do want to reveal my secrets to you guys on how exactly everything happened, and how I went from selling $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 homes to selling $1 to $3 million property, and, you know, just going from there. So I think the most important thing that I want you guys to take away is that people with money want to work with people with money. People that are rich, people that are $1 million clients want to work with people who are just like them. And so occasionally, yeah, you'll get the $1 million client that will use, you know, whatever guy down the street. But for the majority of the luxury clientele, they want to work with luxury agents. And so the question then becomes, how do you become a luxury agent? So it's extremely important that you guys start eating at, you know, fancy restaurants. And I'm not telling you guys to do this all the time, but I mean, if you can go out once, twice a year to a nice fancy restaurant just for the experience, you know, yeah, it's gonna cost you money, but down the line, you know, you're gonna build rapport with somebody who's gone to that restaurant, who has the money to go to those restaurants. I mean, the people going to some place like Nobu that, you know, the bill's 5, 6, 7, 8, 15, $2,000, you know, they have money. And so when you start becoming relatable to people with money, that's when you start breaking into the luxury market. So it's not so much of like, the first thing I need to do is sell a luxury property. No, you need to change your mindset. You need to stop being cheap. You need to stop eating, you know, at these cheap fast food places, and maybe once in a while save up some money and go to a fancy dinner so you can eat where these people eat. You can, you know, be relatable to what they're wearing and, you know, the things that they have in their home, certain art pieces, certain watches, Rolexes, Hublots, things like that. And so when you start becoming relatable to people that have money, that's when you attract the luxury business. So what you need to do first is attract the luxury mindset into your brain and rewire yourself from thinking, I'm not gonna spend $1,000 on some shoes, into, you know what, I am gonna spend $1,000 on some shoes. And then you might realize that they're probably the most comfiest pair of shoes that you've ever worn in your life if you're buying the correct ones. So, you know, just once in a while, I would say, don't go all crazy, but it's okay to buy designer. It's okay to eat at nice fancy restaurants that are expensive, and it's okay to get a nice car. I'm not like, it took me years to be able to build up my money to be able to afford those things. So don't think that, you know, my third year of real estate, I'm out here buying Versace robes, you know what I mean? But definitely after my 7th year of real estate, 6th year of real estate, I'm making a lot of money. I had the funds to do it. Now there's other people that spend their funds buying leads, paying Zillow, paying Realtor.com, sending out mailers. I do zero of that. So all the money that I would spend, that a realtor would normally spend on buying leads, I spent that on myself. And that's why I'm a luxury agent now, because I surrounded myself with spending that amount of money in, designer and, things like that, eating at fancy restaurants all the time, and hanging out where rich people hang out. If you hang out around 4 or 5 broke friends and you're the 6th, what are you gonna be? Broke. If you hang out around 5, 6, 7 rich friends and you hang out with them often, what do you think you're gonna be? Rich. So it's like the people that you hang out around is a reflection of who you are, right? And so the same works for business. If you're hanging out around clients that can only afford $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 houses because you're shopping at the outlet down the street, that's the type of clientele you're gonna get. But what if you start hanging out around the really high-end shopping centers where there's Gucci, Versace, all those type of stores where everything's a high designer brand? The people that can afford that type of clothes obviously have a lot of money. And so when you start hanging out around that type of crowd, it's gonna attract that same type of money around your life, whether it's because you meet somebody by accident or whatever the situation is. That's kind of how life works. You really just attract what what you're around in your environment. You're a reflection of your environment. And so why don't you, what gym do I go to? I go to Lifetime Fitness. It's $150 a month. Is there an EOS or Gold's Gym that I can go to for $10 a month? Yes, there is. Who hangs out at these places that are $10 a month for a gym membership, and who hangs out at the places that are $150 a month? If you can afford $150 a month gym membership, you can afford a lot more than just that. You know what I'm saying? So if you're gonna go to the gym, might as well go to a gym where you can go and get clientele. And it may not happen in month 1 or month 6 or year 1 or year 2, but you don't think that maybe going to the gym at least 3 times a week to a luxurious gym like Lifetime Fitness is gonna get you a client? I mean, it's it's kind of hard to believe that you wouldn't. So that money will get paid back double or triple, if you sell $1 million and $2 million property. And most of the people that I know that have money, that's the gym they go to. So when you start going to gyms like that and hanging out in those environments, that's when you change your mindset from becoming a luxurious agent. So I want you guys to first become luxury yourself. Treat yourself as if you were rich. Maybe not to the extent of having to spend all this money, but do one thing at a time. If you already know that maybe designer clothes is one thing, hanging out around the shopping centers, golfing, maybe you want to take on one thing, and maybe that thing is the gym, or whatever that situation is. Or maybe that thing is, every 2 or 3 months, or every time I get a decent commission check, I'm gonna go out to a fancy restaurant just so I can experience what rich people experience. And so that's when you guys start building, it's almost like conditioning your mind to just being around those type of places and that type of people that are successful, that are driven, that, have the money, and that clientele that you want to eventually get to. So yeah, guys, those are my takeaways. Make sure that you guys are hanging out a lot around where that same luxurious clientele is going to hang out around, because I think a lot of people think that before they do any of that they can just push a magic button or do some type of ads that's just going to get them luxury clientele, and that's not the case.